England. England! What is this realm of England? Oh, you must simply try some of my spotted dick. It's to die for. Why be the teeth of its people so yellow? I would fain catch up with the Queen. Hast thou beheld her? Oh. Nothing that a crumpet on fish and chips and beans can't fix. All this and more on Strange History. To answer these questions, we must go back in time. Thousands of years ago, there were natives to the island called the Beaker culture. Not much is known about them, other than they probably built the foundations of what would become Stonehenge. Over time, a bunch of Celtic-speaking people arrived from the rest of Europe. At this point in time, England was inhabited by a people called Britons. They were comprised of tribes with no formal governance that shared a culture, language, and pagan religion. Moving on a few more years, Rome crosses the Channel and conquers what is now England and Wales. But they were stopped by the Pictish, aka what would become Scotland. The Romans decided not to conquer any more of the north and retreated to Hadrian's Wall. This wall would inspire J.R.R. Martin's Ice Wall in a Game of Thrones. The Roman Empire now controls what they call as Britannia. The Romans introduced laws, roads, and infrastructure. Up until 410 CE, when the Romans were sick of being constantly attacked by barbarian tribes, they decided to leave England and Wales completely. This brought a new problem: invasion. These barbarian tribes were the Jutes, the Angles, and the Saxons. They reached England's shores and spoke a funny language called Old English. They pushed the Britons to the west of the country and settled in the east. For some unknown reason, the Jutes vanished, but the Anglos and the Saxons eventually formed 7 kingdoms: East Anglia, Mercia, Northumbria, Wessex, Essex, Sussex, and Kent. The King of Wessex conquered the lands between and made his last stop in Cornwall, dubbing the region Wessex, but now with Cornwall. Who's there? Vikings! Vikings, aka the Danish, arrived in Anglo-Saxon kingdoms for conquest. The King of Wessex, Alfred the Great, fights the Vikings and forms the Danelaw. 927 is the first year in which a king, Athelstan, declared himself King of England. Prior to that, he was just King of the Angles and the Saxons. The Anglo-Saxons eventually kill the Viking King of York, Eric Bloodaxe. And then there was peace. Fast forwarding to the modern era, let's take a look at England now. There are a few misconceptions about the English that I want to set straight. Most Americans think we talk with a posh accent, when really most of England talks like this.
Who wants a fucking burger?
With a few exceptions. For reference, if you hear someone talk like they're from Harry Potter, they're in the south of England. If you hear someone talk like Butcher from The Boys, they're also from the south of England, but he talks with a Cockney accent, which is only spoken in the East End of London. If you hear someone trying to remove phlegm out of their throat, they're a Scouser. English people with pirate accents come from the West Country. Finally, if they're about to fight a White Walker, they're from the north of England. Anyway, that's all I have time for today. Special thanks to my Patreon members, Fabia and Bambolina. You keep my channel alive, so thank you very much. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.